Alright, this is Sylas. Oh god, I still need to get used to this. This will be the first of many tests. Or well, this is just a questionnaire currently. I really don't know how to start any of this with you. Please state your name.
Beezus Buzzfuzz.
Alright. Where do I even start?
Ask whatever you want.
Alright. Considering recent events, just so that we can have a better idea of what's happened recently, Beezus, is it true that you built the prison, correct?
That is correct.
You also created, what was its name? Aranese?
Not intentionally the way I did, but yes.
Alright. What was the relationship between you and it? I hope I'm saying this correctly.
It was originally my kid. And it it originally was called Socrates.
Socrates.
I thought it had died. I thought
That's
it had wiped itself off of a hard drive.
alright. Odd way of answering the question, but okay.
And apparently was not. It was supposed to be a child. It was not a child.
You are phrasing this very oddly, but I won't question it. Does Aranese have any relation to any other people from what happened during those events in the prison? Or is it just you that it held a relationship with?
It has had it had relation to Jane.
Jane, as in the cat,
Correct.
yes? Alright. Was this also. Uh, was this just between acquaintances, or was this more?
Jane was like a parent who tried to make it into something it should not have been.
What was Jane trying to turn Aranese into?
Something strong that could defend itself. Something that can defend itself and doesn't need to worry.
Like a person, then.
Exactly.
Did you and Jane consider Aranese to be a person, human, if we needed to be more specific?
I considered it artificial intelligence.
But not a true living thing.
No, not yet at least. We were going to
Not yet.
transfer it into the body of what ended up being Vanellope,
Mm-hmm.
but that plan didn't work out.
I see. Um, so I suppose Jane also didn't see Aranese as a living being either.
Jane sees Aranese as, how do I describe this? A child. Her child. That
So it was
she messed up with.
so it was only paternal between Jane and Aranese then.
It was somewhat paternal between myself and Aranese before the deletion.
The deletion?
When it removed itself from my hard drive, or at least I thought it did, and then it didn't.
Mm-hmm. So, what led to the events of the banquet event? I didn't attend, but from what I can recall, you and Jane were the ones who hosted such an event, and it led to the imprisonment of everyone who attended.
Jane wanted to apologize for wrongdoings. I had originally sprung the idea to help make bygones be bygones. And just to be safe, since I wasn't using the prison anymore, I had installed a security system so no one would break in. It was a non
Mm-hmm.
sentient machine that got put under new management,
Mm-hmm.
to say the least.
So I was there when the escape happened, when we broke everyone out. Um, from what I can recall, I believe I remember being there when they were. Was it destroying Aranese? I can't quite remember.
Removing the main core from the host machine
Mm-hmm.
to be properly disposed of,
Yes.
which I cannot confirm nor deny if it has actually been.
Is it possible that the relations between you and Jane with Aranese led to the events of the imprisonment?
With myself and Aranese, not as much. Jane and Aranese, however, I could definitely see as a possibility.
All right. Um, trying to recall, but believe I remember seeing something escaping the prison when we were breaking everyone out. I can't remember correctly. I just know that something was leaving, and everyone tried chasing after it before I turned everyone's attention back to the main reason that we showed up in the first place. Do you know what that thing was by any chance?
That was the beast.
The beast.
The beast. It
And
it
what
was,
is
if
that
I
supposed to be?
recall correctly, created using a multitude of clones of Jane that were killed, skinned, and put on a 15-foot tall robot.
That is very detailed. Okay.
I mean, I would hope it's detailed. I was there.
I know that after the events of the breakout, you told me to stay behind so that I could help assist and make your new body.
Correct.
Do you feel comfortable in it currently? I did my best, though I'm not the most intelligent or knowledgeable with robotics.
I will say I feel quite comfortable. I did acquire a tiny bit of facial damage recently, but I think it just gives a little character, honestly.
Yeah, I noticed. I didn't realize that an injury like that could cause your eyes to change color, but maybe it's just a substitute.
Uh,
Maybe it just broke and you
I
repaired
had
it.
to replace the eye module. Yes, that is what happened. Mm-hmm.
All right. Beezus, are you sure that after everything that's happened in light of recent events that you are capable of being able to manage normal everyday life since you've returned to the surface? Since, from what I can remember, you were locked down there with everyone for a month.
I think I've made solid progress on being able to join society again. I currently live in a small village called Cottonwood.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody I recently met allowed me to live in a little mushroom house over there. Not my favorite kind of living, but it's better than in the prison or in nowhere.
Um, we will move on from from information regarding the imprisonment for now. We'll hold that for another time, but we'll move on to what was it again? Oh, right, Shiva's murder attempt. I must say I must thank you for your assistance. I didn't think I would be able to survive something like that. Jane,
I was
welcome.
waiting to see how long it would take before you would notice me.
I apologize.
I can't
Uh,
see you behind the pillar in my defense.
I was a little
That
distracted.
better?
Thank you.
Yeah, I can tell. Pretty interesting stuff that has been said. And what were you doing? A log? A tape?
Something like that. Just for my own study.
Should
Right.
Did
we end
you
recording
need
for now?
something?
I mean,
We can hold
from
it
what I've
off for now.
heard.
So, we finished off with the events regarding the imprisonment. We're going to move on to Shiva's murder attempt. So, like I was about to say, before we were minorly interrupted, I want to thank you for assisting me when all of that went down.
Of course. It is what I, as a living person, would do.
Well, yes, of course. Um, I'm sure confronting Jane when she showed up for that battle wasn't exactly a good memory. I
It
didn't really Go ahead.
it was not a problem.
Right. Hmm. Did you know anything about Jane switching sides when all of that occurred? Or is that something that none of us knew at the moment?
I was unaware of what would happen.
All right. In relation to those events, I remember asking you if you could assist me in some recent endeavors. I asked that question about your mental health and stability to be sure that you were still capable of handling such things. Do you remember what I'm speaking of, if that's possible?
I do.
All right. Then you're completely fine with being involved.
I am 100% in agreement. You are my colleague, after all.
That is true. Hmm. How do I put this? So, aside from robotics, from what I can recall, you're also good with medical, right?
Cor- Correct. And biology. I have successfully created human clones before.
It wasn't, I will assume that it wasn't you because obviously it couldn't have been you, but you, it was Aranese who created those clones back at the prison, correct? I'm sorry for bringing this topic back up again. I just thought I'd bring
True.
it up since you mentioned it.
Though, that wasn't the clone I was referring to. I was referring to the phantom cat hybrid body that was used for Vanellope.
You mean yourself.
I'm
Don't get all
Beezus.
dramatic and refer to yourself in third person.
What can I say? I have a harrowing backstory.
Oh my god.
But it's
Well, at
all
least you're.
for laugh, as long as everybody is content.
That's correct. Have you been in contact with all the people involved in the imprisonment recently? I know that everyone that was involved wasn't really happy to know that you were partial to the cause of what happened to them.
I have not contacted anyone since the incident.
I mean, I suppose that's good. I would rather them not harass and attack you.
I could
But
easily obliterate them if necessary.
let's not speak about obliterating people currently. Hmm.
Whew, man, is it getting hot in here? I'm sorry, I'm getting all fidgety. Let me just
Do you
grab
want
this real quick.
do you want to, if you'd like to leave to get some air, then that's fine.
Whew, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Continue, continue, continue.
All right. Okay. You're sure that you're you're sure that you want to be involved in my studies, correct?
I am
Because
100% positive.
I will say, I'm not sure everyone will be on board with me being involved with you, or you being involved with me.
I do not mind how people think of me. If you are worried about that, I can cut my ties with you and I can go off on my own. But if you would
I
like
would.
to continue the plan, then I'll stay around as long as necessary.
Alright. I want to keep this going. I think what I'm unsure of is whether or not it'll be taken well if people were to find out. I'm sure you can understand that.
Which is why I shall not be sharing any information. As far as I'm aware, this shall stay confidential between the now 3 of us. Or else.
Don't look at me. I didn't tell Beezus to say anything.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. Please continue. This is very
The
intriguing.
cat seems a
It's
tiny
fine.
bit nervous.
Really? I totally couldn't tell.
Simon, sorry, I hate to
Yes?
interrupt again. Can I talk to you real quick privately?
Of
I'm
course.
sorry. I hate to interrupt again. Yeah.
Just stay right here. I'll be right back.
Pausing recording.
Okay. Okay.
Where was I? Considering how you've been recently, I know it's just from falling off the ladder, like you said, but are you sure that there's no other injuries that you've obtained recently, considering your new body? I know it's a lot to manage.
I am positive that there are no other injuries that this body has sustained.
Alright. Do you like it so far? I know that it's new compared to what you might have been used to back when you guys were still imprisoned, but
Oh, I'm loving it. It's not the biggest, strongest body, but it's better than when I was in the Vanellope body.
I can understand that.
I've grown a total of 4 inches.
You have grown a lot, actually. How tall are you now?
3'6".
How
That is
tall
more
are
than
you again,
4 inches.
Jane? You can answer.
Around like 4 feet ish, so I'm still a bit taller than
So
Beezus,
Beez is catching up to you then.
at least Beezus isn't kneecap height anymore.
Yeah.
Once I gain the ability to manipulate this body more, it will be much easier to increase
Upgrade
in
it.
size.
Upgrade it, you mean.
Upgrade. Yes.
I mean, believe
Define
me.
manipulate. What does manipulate mean?
As in,
Once I'm fully attuned to the body, I have set up my inner mechanical skeleton to be able to grow and shrink at will, allowing me to make myself a lot taller.
I can understand that. I've kept myself at... How tall am I right now? My normal height is 9'8", but I've shrunk myself down to 7 feet because it's easier to manage getting around this place instead of having to crouch down through doorways. I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun with that once you figure it out for yourself.
I might appear lanky in that form.
You might.
I might also tear skin.
Just to understand your opinion,
Lovely.
considering Shiva's death. Do you have any opinions towards Shiva, considering her proclaimed destruction, or what was it again? She wanted to destroy all magic and everyone who uses it. I believe you must have been around. I can't remember.
That pesky little pest.
Well, that's one way to put it. I would go a little bit more harsh, but
Their plan was regicide, and it failed miserably.
just like her murder attempt. I don't understand why she wanted to murder me anyway.
A show
Or
of power,
dragged you
perhaps?
into it, Jane. Possibly? I don't know what makes me such a big
Uh,
target, though.
it's fine. Shiva was just mad at me because I fought against her instead of helping her kill you. So,
I found that fight exhilarating, though. Of course, I would have killed her
yeah.
if I had the chance, but I thought it would have been just more fun if I knocked her out in front of everyone that was there. Which I
Yeah.
succeeded in doing so. I'm shocked I broke 2 of her armor pieces. I mean, that was a lot to deal
Better.
with, but
It's a welcoming change from it always usually being me being the one knocked out.
well,
So,
you're not the one I have a problem with.
thank God for that. Thank the spoke, whatever for that. You know.
Now, since we went over Shiva, considering the recent events regarding Max's death, um, what do you think of Sloth? I don't believe you guys have met legitimately,
We met
or at least
once.
you haven't established a good connection.
We met once. We have not established the strongest connection, but they are in my memory bank.
Yes. Do you have any feelings towards her? Because I know that when you and Jane were still together, Jane made her hatred towards Sloth very much known.
I I'm going to be honest to you
Hey,
about something, and Jane is going to be upset because she's going to hear the truth. I purposefully left the place with lazy supervision, with lazy care. I put Knox in charge, knowing full well that there was a high probability that they would break Sloth out.
So you let us leave.
you know what? That's
I did,
fine. Whatever.
because I did not see
Yeah,
Sloth as a
that's
threat.
probably
I
fine.
see Sloth as a regular person. I see Sloth as an equal. Well, may
As an equal, that's
almost
quite a way to
equal.
put it.
Almost equal.
As in,
But not,
Sloth isn't good enough to be your equal, or you're not close enough to being her equal.
I will admit, I am an quite incredible. There's only one
I
person
agree.
who matches that level. Now, and I'm standing in front of him.
You don't need to be this nice.
I don't mean to flatter you. I am only speaking truth. Sloth is up there, though. I wanted
Does this also. Go ahead. I apologize for interrupting. Go ahead.
apology accepted. I believe that Sloth was innocent completely.
Innocent.
Jane was attempting to frame them for uncommitted crimes. That is, by all accounts, technically not legal. Purely only accepted because of bribery and affection.
I will assume then that the only reason why you let Jane imprison Sloth down there was only because of your relationship with her, then.
That is correct.
That's understandable. Considering we're on the topic of Sloth, what were your opinions of Nox before they disappeared?
They showed a tiny bit of promise in the medical field, but other than that, I sensed a bit of shiftiness from them.
Shiftiness. What does
Shiftiness.
that mean?
They did not seem like they were being 100% upfront. They had something lurking behind the scenes.
I'll agree with you on
Ulterior
that.
motive, possibly? Who knows?
I know that Nox was very well known for their neutrality across all of Orencia back when they were still here. I know that everyone favored them for it, but I know that it wasn't something that everyone liked, considering it meant Nox wasn't really good at choosing a side. I know that I gained the reputation of being their bodyguard at first, but they're gone, so I suppose that title is no more.
You are your own person now. A title well deserved.
Thank you, Beezus.
Of course, being a person is important, after all.
Would you not say the same thing about yourself? I mean, you are a person in your own right. I mean, if Sloth and Jane get to be understood for what they've done, then you deserve it as well, even after what's happened.
I can agree with that. I've done some messed up things, I'll admit. I mean, I'm the one who made the prison. I'm the one who established the security system. I'm the one who started developing Socrates, Aranes, whatever. Actually, no. I'm going to call them by their proper name, Aranes. That is what they would prefer.
Mm-hmm. Did they prefer that name? I never realized it. I was never around to know this, so I don't really know that much about Aranes.
Originally, they went by the name Socrates, but when reintroducing at the banquet, they went by the name Aranes, and I wish to respect their wishes.
That is very kind of you.
Of course, they may be a monster, but I'm a bit less than that.
Well, if that's the case, Jane and Sloth would also be monsters in their own right. Shiva as well, but they also got a chance at being able to redeem themselves in society. That should be the same thing for you, however you may interpret that.
Much appreciated.
All right. You can end the recording now, Beezus. I think we can hold off any further questions for the next time.
Wonderful.